You know, nobody really warns you about your 30s, bro. They tell you it's when life finally starts to make sense, when you're supposed to figure it all out, when things start to finally settle down. But what I've learned is something different. Me personally, I think your 30s is actually when life stops making sense, because it forces you to confront your truth. Because your 30s are the decade where everything you ignored comes back to introduce itself properly. I'm talking like your health, your habits, your relationship, your purpose, your identity. All those things that you once ignored comes back up. And if you're in your late 20s or early 30s watching this, there's a good chance you already feel it, bro. You feel that quiet tension, that restlessness, that feeling like I did everything I was supposed to do. So why doesn't this feel right? We out here in San Diego, California, up bright and early. We only here for about 24, 48 hours, man. About to look for the gym, go get me some food. Yeah, man, just catching a vibe, seeing where to take us. So welcome to San Diego. Let's go ahead, let's find this gym. Let's get us a tea first, a little Earl Grey hot tea, and then find us a gym. But see, I'm 31, and this season changed everything for me, bro. See, it's like, bro, your 30s almost feel like a second puberty, except this time, you're conscious, you're aware. In your teens, things change fast, but you didn't understand why. But in your 30s, things change just as fast. Only difference is, this time, you feel everything. Like the things you used to think were fun start feeling draining. What you used to ignore starts bothering your spirit. And what you used to accept starts feeling disrespectful to yourself. And you see, that's because your 30s are when the gap between who you are and who you're pretending to be becomes impossible to ignore. At this stage of life, you start questioning everything you built in your 20s, bro. Your career, your friendship, your relationship, the patterns, habits in your life, your belief system, your identity, who you are. It could feel scary because you realize something most people don't say out loud. A lot of what you built in your 20s was built for someone else and probably not you, bro. See, here's the truth most people don't admit. In your 20s, you weren't really living, bro. You were rehearsing this life that they say you're supposed to live. You were guessing, copying, performing, trying to fit in, bro. Trying to become someone the world would approve of. And in this season of your life, you chased validation, you chased aesthetics, you chased status, you chased excitement. And there's no shame in that. It's a part of learning. It's a part of life. It's a part of becoming who you are today. But eventually, you wake up and one day you realize the people you were trying to impress don't even really care, bro. Your 30s force what I call almost an identity audit. Everything you used to escape becomes something you now want to understand. Everything you ignored in yourself becomes impossible to avoid at this point in your life. You start asking deeper questions in life, bro. The questions that really matter. Like, who am I? Or who am I without the mask? Who am I when nobody's watching? Is this the life I chose, or did it get chosen for me? Do I actually want this, or did the 25-year-old version of myself want this? And here's where it gets even more uncomfortable, bro. You realize that some of the things you've been praying for were never meant to stay in your life forever. Some habits you were using just to cope. Some goals were literally just placeholders in your life and not God's calling for you. And God doesn't expose these things to shame you. He exposes them to free you of the person you once were or thought you were. See, one of the biggest shifts in your 30s is this. At this point, you stop chasing excitement and you start chasing peace, purpose. You don't want the attention anymore. You want alignment. You don't want the noise. You literally just want clarity in your life and the next step to take. You don't want the big crowd. You want presence. You become more selective with your time, your energy, your conversations, your commitments. Not because you feel like you're better than anyone, but because you finally understand the cost of being misaligned. At this point, peace becomes more valuable than approval, bro. See, here's the difference between your 30s and your teenage years. See, back then, you were becoming who the world wanted you to be. Now, you're becoming who you want to be. And if you're a believer, you're becoming who God's calling you to be. See, this time, you're more self-aware. This time, you're more intentional. This time, you feel every loss, every shift, every realization. And the stakes feel a lot higher because you know that time matters, bro. Your 30s aren't about growing up. They're about waking up. Waking up to your patterns, to your values, to your truth, and to your purpose. If your life feels like it's unraveling in your 30s, hear this very clearly. You're not falling behind. You're not broken. You're not failing. You are literally shedding what no longer fits you. And that process is gonna feel messy. It's gonna feel painful. It's gonna feel a little disorienting. But it's also the first time in your life where you're not guessing and you're choosing who you're supposed to be. So if this resonates with you, just know that you're not alone, bro. This channel exists literally for people who are waking up and not just going through the motions or just performing, but aligning with who they're actually meant to be and who God called them to be. So if you're in your 30s and this season feels confusing, go ahead and drop a comment. Let me know where you're at in this life. And if you're younger, please don't fear this season. Just prepare for it. So when it comes, you know what to expect. Only if you're working at your vision. And not the version the world gave you, but the one that you're finally choosing for yourself. And always remember though, no matter what you are doing, just keep working at that vision.